Hey, what's up? This is Reed. Dynamically changing the color of your lights based on what's on your TV is pretty awesome. I've talked about it previously using Hue Sync, which anyone with Philips Hue lights can use on their computer right now if they download the program. Today I'm going to see if it's possible to sync up my lights with my TV without it being annoying or distracting. And if so, what does that setup look like? I'll be using the Philips Hue Sync Box for this video. It makes it way more convenient because you don't have to run the program on your computer. I have an Apple TV, Chromecast, and Nintendo Switch plugged into the inputs. Anything plugged into the box will sync with your Hue lights, so unfortunately the apps on your smart TV won't work. My soundbar is connected directly to my TV, and this setup works really well. To control the Sync Box, you have to use the Hue Sync app. There's a few settings you can change, but it's a fairly basic app. Using the app is how you manually change the inputs. The Sync Box can also automatically change inputs depending on which device you're using. So if I'm using the Apple TV, but I ask Google to play something on the Chromecast, the Sync Box will automatically switch inputs. Or it will turn on the Sync Box if it was off. You can also change the light intensity and brightness like you can on the Hue Sync app on the computer. More on that in a second. The Sync Box costs $230, which isn't cheap, and ultimately, it's going to be up to you if you think it's worth it. Now I'm going to show you how I set up my Hue Sync lights to not be distracting. When I first tried out the Hue Sync a while ago, it was mind-blowing and a little distracting at the same time. That's why I spent a lot of time recently dialing in the settings to get the best overall experience. I've been working really hard on this video.
Hey Reed, I need help with the kids.
Sorry, I'm just swamped with work right now. For me, the best viewing experience includes no jarring flashes of light during dialogue or a slower scene in a show. Yet also intense lighting for action sequences like something blowing up. It has to be one setting so I don't have to change it throughout the movie. What I settled on is high intensity with about 25 to 30% brightness. Here's why I chose those settings. Extreme on the intensity level looks great during action sequences, but jumps around way too much during the calmer scenes. If I choose low or moderate intensity, the colors don't jump around, which solves that problem, but the colors aren't as accurate. The color seems to be an average of many colors on the screen, so it changes less. This isn't ideal when watching action scenes. The high intensity is the sweet spot for me. However, I had to turn down the brightness to about 25%, so it wasn't too distracting during certain scenes. Also, having more lights at a lower brightness helps create a more even spread so there isn't anything that pulls your eyes away from the TV. There is a game mode which turns it to extreme intensity, and I found this good on fast games like Mario Kart, for example. So when you're jumping over a lava pit, the lights match perfectly with what you're seeing on the screen. It's not going to look great on every game though. When I was playing Super Smash Bros., it looked good on some levels, but others, it didn't look so good, which is expected with some games. However, if I'm playing a game like Zelda, it's pretty awesome. I keep it in video mode with high intensity and maybe turn up the brightness a little bit, and that way it's a much more pleasant experience. Seriously, it's insane how fun it is to play some of these games with this light setup. Where you put the lights matters quite a bit. You want the lights to extend the screen, and when done right, it really does make the TV feel much larger than it actually is. But don't tell your spouse that because they might not let you upgrade your TV. I have two play bars behind the TV on the left and right that project light to the sides. I also have a Hue light strip up high that brightens the area above, then a few regular Hue smart light bulbs below. I also have one Hue bulb off on the side because I didn't really know where to put it. Maybe I'll find a spot for it later because I'm always fine-tuning my setup. To get the lights working with the Hue Sync app, you'll need to create an entertainment area in the main Hue app. It's really easy to set up where the lights are located, including how high they are off the ground. I'm not saying my setup is perfect and one day I would love to have a large theater room, but here's why I have the lights the way they are. The two lights under the TV I originally set up behind the couch. I did this because I wanted the lights in front of me and behind me. There's a couple of reasons why I moved them though. One, it's difficult to see lights behind you. I probably should have known that. The second is that you can't adjust how bright the different lights are in the Hue Sync app. It's just one slider for all the lights. If I could turn up the brightness of the lights behind me and keep the lights in front of me dim, then I would be able to see them in my peripheral vision. So unless Philips Hue updates the brightness control in the Sync app, I would only have lights in front of you or off to the side. That way you can actually see them. The light strips up top are great because they bounce light off the ceiling. It's using the color from the top part of the screen. So for example, the ceiling can match the sky, which creates an awesome effect. For the best results, I had to move the light strips in the entertainment area in the app to the middle of the TV at ceiling height, even though my light strips are physically off to the side. The play bars work really well behind the TV, and I might have to get more of those. I like this setup because I can watch an entire movie without it being distracting, and it makes a big difference. And it's really difficult to capture this on camera, but it is amazing. Kind of changes the whole way you experience a movie. Hue Sync is one of the best options we have in the United States right now to have dynamic lighting with the TV. If you're outside the US, you might have some more options like Ambilight, which is supposed to arrive in the US this year with the Philips 804 TV, and I'm excited for that to come out even though it might be pricey. Philips Hue announced at CES that you'll be able to use Google Assistant, Echo devices, and IR remotes to change the Sync Box. It's not available yet, but it's supposed to come out this spring. One quick note about the Sync Box is that it does not sync up colors for HDR Dolby Vision. It does work for HDR10 as well as HDR10 Plus with the latest update, so just be aware of that. Hopefully this video gave you some ideas for dynamic lighting with your TV, and I cover lighting a lot on this channel, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Hey, do you think I could get my office back?
These lights are actually really cool. Couldn't you go work at like the kitchen table or something?